Hey everybody, the holiday season is upon us. I'm looking like a red-headed present, and I want to show you how to make the perfect pie crust. It can be sweet, it can be savory, pot pies, cobblers, all of that, even just a little morsel of a crust. So, you are going to be surprised at how simple it is. Okay, so we have all of our ingredients. The first thing I'm going to do is take a third of a cup of water, and I'm going to put in a tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to dissolve all of these aromatics in the water. So, a teaspoon of salt. Now, we're dissolving this in the water because the water is going to be flavored. So you're going to have salt, sugar, water versus flour with sugar, salt, okay? Sweet and salty water. This goes in the fridge. We want it really cold. The next thing we do is measure our flour. I am measuring 2 1/4 cups of flour. You see the 2 okra flours? You see the 1/4 okra flour? That's what we're measuring, 2 1/4 cups of flour. Into a standing mixer. 1/4 cup. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you can't do this, I'll come to your house and do it. But if you can do it, you have to explain to me exactly why you can't follow instructions. How about that? All right. 2 sticks of butter. I'm going to cut them up. I'm just going to cut them just like this, not too fat. See? That's nice. You don't need any knife skills for that. All right. I'm going to put all the butter in the flour. Now what I'm going to do is separate the butter pieces. So I'm making sure that each piece of butter is separated with the flour. Easy. I'm going to the mixer. Paddle. All right, now remember that water that is cold in the fridge? You're gonna start the mixer, you're gonna add the water. If the sugar settles or it's not dissolved yet, just stir it. Turning the mixer on, I add the water all at the same time until it comes together. See how that came together? You still may have some pieces of butter, which is fine, and actually that's perfect. We're making crust. Your skill set here, measuring, putting it in a bowl, turning the mixer on, stopping the mixer, bringing it together like this, dividing it in half, smashing it into a disc, not a ball, a disc, and wrapping it. Into the fridge, let it rest for at least an hour. You can freeze this for up to a month and a half, so make it now. You can see that it's nice and firm. See the pieces of butter in there? That is good. The reason that your butter needs to be cold is because butter has water in it. When that butter goes into the oven, that butter creates steam from the water that's in the butter. That gives you your layers. If your butter is not cold, you will not have layers. Your crust will be tough. It'll run out oil. So, cold is better. I have a rolling pin here. It has guides. So these guides screw on and off. I don't have to even think about my pie crust being even all the way because of these guides. See? A little bit of flour on my cutting board. Not too much because you don't want to add too much flour. The thing with your pie crust, when you're moving it, you want to make sure that it can move. Make sure that it's not stuck to the surface that you're rolling on. So now to put your crust in here, you can fold it or you can use your rolling pin. I'm going to fold it. Here. Unfold it. Now I'm going to cut these excess edges. Sometimes I just tilt my pan toward the cutting board so I can just cut right like this. Now what I'm going to do is come in and crimp. So I'm going to turn these edges under like this. The easiest thing to do is to use a fork. That's pretty much what you see. What you do is you just take the tines of the fork and you just press like this all the way around, right? I mean, that does not look homemade. So what we're going to use are our fingers. So I'm going to do this. And I'm just pinching. All right, remember what I said about cold butter? This has to go back in the refrigerator to get cold. It must, it must, it must. You can put it in the freezer. So until this is absolutely set, you should not use it. All right, into the fridge for at least an hour. So we're gonna blind bake the pie. I'm gonna show you a quick little thing. I'm just gonna make this piece of parchment paper into a simple circle. So I just fold it into a cone, nothing special. And then I'm going in, I say, oh, that's ish. And I'm gonna tear it, so now I have this torn thing here. I'm gonna open it up, it's a circle. And I just dump some beans, any beans, or you can buy pie weights, but if you have beans. So just put those beans in the bottom. It keeps the dough down while it bakes. And I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for about, I don't know, 15 minutes. What I'm looking for, the crust will start to get translucent and then it will go into opaque, okay? Then, at that point, I take these out and I continue to bake the crust. Just a little bit of color. That's going to give you a really good pie crust.